Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Danae and this is Bruce. We have a 15-month-old daughter and her name is Freya. She's napping right now, so we're gonna try to get all of this done before she wakes up. But today we're gonna be talking about our parenting values.
Yeah, whether we like it or not, we all have default settings when it comes to how we view parenting. We all grew up in families that were very different and did things differently. We're in different, cultural settings, and the way things are done in the culture that we're part of. We don't want those things to, make up part of our parenting approach if they're not healthy.
Yeah.
If they are healthy, fine, that's great. But, we want to make sure that our default settings are values of ours that we actually care about. And so what we wanted to do was, put pen to paper, really figure out what is it that we value as a family and as parenting. What are our values? So we've put together 7 values that we believe, for us at least, are really important. It's not all the values, it's not every value. There's lots.
Yeah, sure,
but yeah, this is our top 7 currently. One day we'll look back on this video and be like, okay, how's this changed? Are we still sticking to this, this set of values? How, we can kind of use this as a benchmark and as a foundation to move forward.
For us to raise well-behaved children because they're not going to stay children forever. Our aim is to raise healthy, secure, well-balanced adults. And this is something that Bruce and I talk about a lot, and we use that phrase a lot, just reminding ourselves that Freya and our future children are going to grow up someday and they're going to leave our house someday. And that's the goal, is when they leave the house, who are they leaving as? What kind of impact have we had on their lives? Because the time that we have with them right now is actually really short.
So we want to impart a value system that they take with them. We don't want to focus so much on them being well-behaved kids who get good grades and are successful as children that we forget that they are going to be adults one day. So we want them to take some values with them. Values that their default setting will be at a much better place than, say, our default setting. Yeah. So we're building a foundation into their lives, a foundation of values. So these are these values.
Yeah. So the first value is self-worth. So we want Freya and our future children to have a really good self-worth, really good image of themselves. We don't want things, outside things, to affect their self-worth. So if it's good grades, or what other people think of them, or what other people think they look like, those types of things that are, not actually the main thing. They don't really matter all that much. And we believe that self-worth begins at home, begins with us. And it's something that we need to continually reinforce and continually speak over them, is their self-worth.
Yeah, we want our kids to know that they are valued. And they are valued because we love them, and they are kids, and that's it. They aren't valued more when they are, successful in school or when they are well behaved. We don't want their value to be tied up in that kind of stuff. We want them to be able to, go through life knowing that they are valued, that they have value, that their self-worth is strong, so they can approach any situation and know that regardless of the outcome, their value is secure. Value number 2 is emotional expression. We want to create an environment where our kids know that they can be free to express their emotions. We don't feel like our job is to suppress that or to tell them it's bad. It's just a case of us helping guide that process.
Yeah, I think like with Freya now, I said earlier, she's 15 months old, so she's a toddler and she's starting to experience very big emotions for very small things. I'm sure if you have a toddler or had one, you can relate to this. And so for us, we're just trying to meet her where she's at and meet her in that emotion, share our calm with her, be a narrator, speak about what emotion, we see that she's expressing. So it gives her words to her emotions and not just these big feelings that she doesn't understand. And just ride that wave. Thankfully, toddlers are quite quick. They go in and out of things. So they'll have a big tantrum or, big feelings. And then, you're with them, you share your calm with them. And then next thing you know, they're running and finding another toy. So, but I think it's great practice now with them being little. So as they get older, we've already almost been trained up as parents to deal with that, because ultimately I think we need to learn as much as they need to learn, if not more.
Yeah.
We need to do a lot of learning as parents. And that's what I'm finding with Freya right now, is learning how to help her through these big feelings that she's experiencing, and not telling her that they're bad or wrong and that she can't have them, and just saying, you're okay, you're okay. And actually, no, you're not okay. You're feeling something right now. Let's talk about it.
I heard someone say that it's really important to treat your emotions as information. So when you're angry, or when you're feeling really sad about something, is to say, well, why am I feeling this? Why do I feel this way? What is the information that I'm receiving? And if we can teach our kids to view their emotions as information and not as something bad, to be like, why am I feeling so angry right now? Why is that? If they can figure that out and they can process through that, I just feel like we're giving them tools to kind of approach life. And, they're going to be married one day. They're going to have all kinds of things to deal with in their lives, and we want to equip them as best as possible to process through their emotions.
Yeah, as full adults.
Yeah, and we don't expect Freya to be able to do that yet.
No,
and it's unfair to expect toddlers or children or even teenagers to be able to process through emotions the way we do as adults.
Yeah.
They just don't have the ability yet. So we're helping them through that.
Yeah.
Our third value is freedom to fail. We want our kids to know that they aren't valued more when they're successful at something. And so I think we live in a world where everyone's so afraid of failing. You go through school and everyone's so afraid. They don't want to fail. They don't want their friends to see them failing. We're terrified of failing in business, or maybe we never step out and actually take risks because we're so afraid of failing. And we just don't want our kids to grow up with that as some sort of goal, is to never fail. We want them to know that failing's okay. And, that we can't expect them to be good at everything, and they're not going to be good at everything. They're not going to be the most athletic or the most academic. And so when they do fail, is to not, to help them through that in a way that's healthy. And be like, that's fine, you failed. It's okay. There's other things. Yeah.
And also to know that, just because you fail once doesn't mean you stop trying,
Exactly.
Sometimes failing multiple times, I think actually always failing multiple times, you're a little bit closer to achieving that goal that you're after. So learning to fail is actually, and having the freedom to fail is actually really, really good, because you're getting closer to your goal. And I don't want to raise children that are so afraid of failing, so afraid of maybe what we think of them, that they don't actually, end up pursuing their dreams and their passions, because what if they fail? We want to give them that freedom. So the first thing is love and acceptance. We want our kids to know that they are loved unconditionally, and I think almost every parent would say the same. We want them to know that they are accepted just as they are, how they come. And we want them to know that whatever they do, that our love is never going to change, is never going to decrease for them, that they have a safe place with us, and that, they can always know that regardless of what happens and what goes on, that they are loved.
Yeah, and I think, if we model that well in our marriage, if we love and accept each other, and we don't judge. We don't
always do it perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. Hey,
we try. We're learning.
We fail, and it's okay to fail, right?
Yeah.
But I think if we model that well in our marriage and in our family, then hopefully Freya will be able to, and our other kids one day will be able to take that value with them, and they'll be able to love others, and they'll be able to see the best in other people. And they'll be able to accept other people and not reject people, because obviously the opposite of acceptance is rejection. And rejection is a horrible, horrible, horrible thing for young people to go through. So we want to avoid that at all costs, avoid rejection, and just accept our kids.
Yeah.
Number 5 is selflessness and generosity. We want to model what it looks like to be someone who's selfless, to be someone who's generous. It starts with us. It starts in our family. It starts in our marriage. It starts with our children. If they know that we aren't selfish people, selfish individuals, then they know they can always come to us. We want to model that so that they can be selfless individuals themselves, so that they can think of other people, they can care about other people. And their world doesn't just stop in their little bubble, that they realize that there's a bigger world out there. There's people out there who need help, people out there who need others to care for them.
Yeah.
And, if we can be generous and selfless, we can impact people's lives.
I think this is actually something you're really good at. I feel like I've learned a lot from Bruce, just with being selfless and generous. And it's probably because you're like that with me. He's better at it than I am, I think. But it's definitely a value. And I think you're going to teach it really well just because you're just naturally like that. But
thank you.
I think we will make it continue. Moving on to respect. I feel like the respect word is kind of like, I don't know, it sounds like daunting. Like, you must respect.
Yeah, it can sound quite heavy.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what we're saying here.
No, I think respect is showing that inherent in every human being is value, and every human being is born with value. And you can't put a value to that value. You can't say, oh, this is how valuable someone is. Everyone is as valuable as everyone else.
Yeah.
No one is more valuable than the other. And so when we show respect in our family, and when we show our kids that we respect other people, and we respect our kids as well.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing.
It shows them that they have value, and it just reminds them that there's something special about being a human being. And if we respect our kids, we respect their time, we respect their opinions, we respect their emotions, they will just feel more confident in life. They'll feel more confident to try things, to do things, to express who they are. It's a huge one. I think for a lot of families, kids aren't respected. Kids are really very much like, no, we're the adults, you have to respect us. You're the kids, we don't have to respect you because you're kids. And I think that can be unhelpful.
Yeah. And I don't know, the idea of forcing our children to respect us because we're the adults doesn't seem like it would produce good fruit. Yeah. It seems like it would be something that's forced on them. And I want them to show respect out of love, out of, seeing us as their parents, seeing that, they love us, they can trust us, we have their best interest at heart for them. And so then they do respect us.
Yeah.
It's not something that's forced onto them, but it's a choice. So it's a good choice that they can make. And they make it because we also respect them. And so that it's modeled to them. And then also Bruce and I respect each other.
Yeah.
And I think it always comes kind of back to our marriage is if we're respecting each other, then that's the first place that they're actually going to see respect. It's going to be us respecting each other and then us respecting them. And this, I think, in a big way is how we speak to each other.
Yeah.
Do we speak with respect?
That's huge.
And I think that's a really good way to model respect. And then touching on trust, that is our last and final value that we have on this list for today. But trust, I think, is massive in any relationship.
Yeah, I think trust makes up a base of any relationship. The longer you know someone, the more you trust them. That's just natural. And I think without trust, you'll always feel like you need to protect yourself. You'll always feel like you need to isolate yourself from other people because there's fear attached to that if you don't trust them. And so, we want our kids to trust us first of all. And that comes from them seeing consistency with us, consistency in our love, consistency in how we treat each other, how we treat our kids.
Looking forward, like as they become teenagers and stuff, is giving them space, to say, okay, we trust you. Obviously, there's always going to be boundaries in place, and boundaries are healthy, and kids need to have boundaries because it makes them feel safe.
Yeah.
But there also has to be that trust there.
So that's our 7 values. It's not a full list. It's maybe our top 7. We could add to that. We could add things like having grace for our kids, setting boundaries, discipline. There's lots of things that we could talk about, and maybe we'll save that for another video.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking it. And if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button. We would love to take you on our journey of parenting.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
We haven't been parents to other children before. That's bad. I want to start again. Put your copy down. Stop laughing.
I'm under pressure. Okay.
Yeah, whether we like it or not. Yeah, we didn't get it. Get it.